Hello and welcome to e-class of Introduction to IT System. In previous e-class, we have discussed the introduction and definition of operating system. We have discussed that an operating system is an interface between a computer user and computer hardware. In this video lecture, we will discuss the types of operating system. So, as we can see that there are different types of operating system. First one is the batch operating system, time sharing operating system, distributed operating system, embedded operating system, and finally we will discuss the real time operating system. So all these types of operating systems we will discuss one by one. Very first we will discuss what is the batch operating system. In batch operating system, the similar jobs are grouped together into the batches with the help of some operator. Here, this is the operator, these are the users, and user 1 is with job 1, user 2 is with job 2, and user n wants to execute job n. So, in batch operating system, the similar jobs are grouped together into the batches with the help of some operator, and these batches are executed one by one. So this operator will divide or group these jobs into different batches, and then these batches like batch 1, batch 2, batch 3 or batch n, these batches will be executed one by one. Here batch 1 will be executed first, then batch 2, batch 3. So these batches will be grouped by the operator. For example, let's assume we have 15 batches and we are going to execute some programs which are written in C++, some programs written in C, and rest in Java. Now every time when we run these programs individually, then we will have to load the compiler of that particular language and then execute the code. But what if we make a batches of these 15 programs? The benefit with this approach is that for C++ batch you need to load the compiler only once. Similarly for Java and C, the compiler needs to be loaded only once. So the time we can save our time, and we can execute our jobs efficiently. There are some advantages as well as disadvantages of batch operating system. The first advantage of batch operating system is that the overall time taken by the system to execute all the programs will be reduced. The batch operating system can be shared between the multiple users. As far as disadvantages is concerned, the manual interventions are required between two batches. The CPU utilization is low because the time taken in loading and unloading of the batches is very high as compared to the execution time. Second one is the time sharing operating system. In multitasking operating system, more than one processes are being executed at a particular time with the help of time sharing concept. So in the time sharing environment, we decide a time that is called the time quantum, and when the process starts its execution, then the execution continues for only that amount of the time, and after that other processes will be given chance for that amount of time only. In next cycle, the first process will again comes for its execution, and it will be executed for that time quantum only, and again next process will come. So this process will continue. This image describes the working of the time sharing concept. Here process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4 and process 5. There are 5 processes. This one is the CPU, and there is a time quantum. Process 1 will execute it for this time quantum, then process 2 will comes into the picture and it will execute for the time quantum time. After this time quantum, process 3rd will execute, and similarly process 5. After the first cycle, once again the cycle will repeat. So in this manner the time sharing operating system will behave. So there are some advantages as well as disadvantages of this time sharing operating system also. The first advantage is, since equal time quantum is given to each process, so each process gets equal opportunity to execute. So there will not be the possibility of hanging. The second advantage is the CPU will be busy in most of the cases, and this is good to have cases though. So in previous we have seen that in batch operating system the advantage is CPU utilization is low, but in time sharing we have increased the CPU utilization. But the disadvantages is also with the time sharing operating system, that is the process having higher priority will not get into the chance to execute first, because the equal opportunity is given to each process. So this one is the disadvantages. As we know, if we are running with 5 processes, let's assume process 4 is having the highest priority, but in case of the time sharing operating system, process 4 will comes into picture and process 4 will be executed after completion of process 1, process 2 and process 3. So in among these 5 processes, the most important process was 4th, and the process number 4 should have to execute it very fast, but because of the time sharing operating system it will be executed after some time, or we can say that process 4 needs to wait for some time. So other type of operating systems are distributed operating system, embedded operating system and real time operating system. These 3 operating systems we will discuss in next class. In this class we have discussed the batch operating system and the time sharing operating system. In next lecture we will discuss the distributed operating system, embedded operating system and real time operating system. So thank you so much.